What's going on, everybody? Dr. Nathan Thompson here with Exemplify Health Center, a Wellness Way affiliate. Hey, if you guys can hear me okay, just let me know. Sometimes the mic doesn't work. All right, if you read the title of today about can you boost your immune system? And I'm going to answer that question, and I'm going to give you a different perspective about quote-unquote boosting the immune system. So how you doing, Amber? Devin, how are you? If you can hear me right now, give me a thumbs up, just so I know that my mic is actually working. All right. So, awesome. Thank you very much. I will proceed. All right. Can you boost your immune system? So, let's answer that question. All right. Here's what's interesting about right now is I'm going to probably say some things and they're probably going to ruffle some feathers. And here's the reason why, is that right now, everyone is in this fear, panic type mode. Okay. And I was listening to a call today, and this person had a very interesting perspective. And they actually said this, because I know we've gotten some like angry voicemails and messages and things like that. The fact that we're open and things like that. But I understand this. It doesn't anger me. It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't do anything. Is when people are fearful, you're not going to see the best version of them. Okay? Let me say that again. When people are fearful, you're not going to see the absolute best version of them. So I'm okay with that. I understand that. And I know that a lot of people right now are fearful. They're fearful for two reasons. Some people might be in fear of a virus. Number two, a lot of people might be fearful just because of uncertainty. Like what's going to happen a week from now, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, 6 weeks from now. So I always say, hey, let's control what we can control. There's certain things that are out of our control, but there are certain things that we can control. The reason why I talk about quote unquote boosting the immune system is because of this, okay? Is that none of the news, no one's talking about something that's very important. Is everyone's talking about how to avoid a virus or how to lower their viral load, okay? So everyone's talking about how can I try to avoid the COVID-19 or the coronavirus, or how can I try to wash my hands as much as possible? How can I distance myself, social distancing away from all of these other people so I don't catch this virus, okay? So everyone's talking about trying to lower their viral load, all right? And there's certain things you can do to actually lower your viral load. So that's one way not to get sick, all right? Here's the problem with this. Here's the problem, is that when this is all said and done, and it's going to be all said and done, with this whole narrative on we have to avoid the viruses and we have to kill all the viruses and we have to make sure that none of us are getting in contact with viruses, let me ask you a question. When this is all said and done, where do we go from here? Because here's the reality. The reality is there's going to be another virus in another 6 months. There's going to be another virus in another 9 months. There's going to be another virus in 2 years. There is always going to be another virus. And what are we going to do as a country? Are we going to scramble, and are we going to have to lock down and hide in our houses for 6 months out of the year because it's always going to be a new virus? Is that nature will always adapt, and so will we. So how are we going to fight this? What's the long-term plan? Because we can't avoid viruses, which leads me to this. Everyone's talking about avoiding a virus, but guess what? Is that our bodies are designed to handle a virus. Our bodies are designed to handle a bacteria. Our bodies are designed to handle pathogens. That's why we have an immune system, okay? And this answers the question, why are 1% to 2% of people dying from COVID-19 or the coronavirus? But no one is asking the question, what about the 98%? What about the 98%? Isn't that the question we should be asking moving forward? Is what about the 98% and why are they okay? So let's talk about this. it comes down to two different paradigms. Is it the soil or is it the seed? Because if we keep talking about the seed or the virus, we're going to be having this conversation all the time. And we're going to be living in seclusion all the time, because you'll never get rid of all the viruses. You'll never get rid of any of the bacteria. It's going to be impossible. So where are we going to move from this point forward? Are we going to stop talking about the seed, and are we going to start talking about the soil? And what's the soil? The soil is the terrain. The soil is your body. The soil is your environment. The soil is your immune system. Okay? So it's not the seed as much as it's the soil. All right? So let's talk about what you can do in order to strengthen your soil. So the first thing I want to talk about, though, because I'm seeing it all around, is I'm seeing this whole idea between, people who are saying it's the soil, it's the soil, it's the soil, it's not the seed. I agree with that. But then everyone's going around right now and they're promoting things to quote unquote boost your immune system. Okay? Now, here's the thing. You cannot boost your immune system. Let me give you an example. So some people are saying if you do this or you take this, you're going to boost your immune system 400%. And at that point I say, well, if you do this and it boosts it 400%, then if you do it 9 times, is it going to boost it 3,600%? Does that make sense? So we're all talking about what you can do in order to boost the immune system, but here's the thing. You cannot boost the immune system. You can only get it up to sufficiency. Let me say that again. You cannot, quote unquote, boost the immune system. You can only get it up to sufficiency, and what sufficiency is up to 100%. So you can only get the immune system working up to 100%, and anything that you're doing that's going to cause the immune system to go down is called immune system suppression. All right? So how, instead of asking the question, what can I do in order to boost the immune system, you should be asking, what can I do in order to have sufficiency of my immune system to get it working up to 100% or as close as possible. Now, let's talk about this, okay? Because the biggest things then, because think about this, if your immune system is sufficient, your immune system is working at 100%, then guess how you're going to respond to COVID-19 or to the coronavirus, all right? I want you to pay really close attention to this, because even the authorities have said this. Now, someone asked me, that says, well, if my immune system is working as close as possible to 100%, does that mean that I'm not going to get sick? And I said, no. Here's the reason why, and I'm going to give you an example. Give me a thumbs up if you guys have traveled to another country and you got sick while you were in that country, or you got sick very shortly right when you got back home. And I'm going to give you an example. When I was in chiropractic school a long time ago, I took a mission trip with the American Red Cross to Vietnam. And we were there for 10 days. And when I got back home, man, I got sick. I was not feeling very well. And the reality is that I was exposed to brand new bacteria. I was exposed to a brand new viruses. I was exposed to that brand new environment that my immune system had never seen before. So if my immune system had never seen a virus or never seen a new bacteria, because I am in a different part of the world, like if you went to Mexico or if you went to China or whatever, then you're going to get exposed to things the immune system hasn't seen, and you don't have any kind of immunity to it, if that makes sense. So if you have a sufficient immune system, then it's going to take a little bit of time in order to mount an immune system response, and then you're probably going to express symptoms that the immune system is working, the immune system is handling the infection, and the immune system is then overcoming it and then building memory later on, if that makes sense to you. So we have a virus that says this is from China. Guess what? This is a virus that none of us have seen before. So this is a virus from a new area of the world. So if we're exposed to it and we've never seen it, but our immune system is sufficient, then yes, you probably will get sick. Yes, you'll probably have symptoms. However, if you have immune system sufficiency, guess what? you are going to have basically some mild symptoms for 3 to 4 days, and then that immune system has mounted its attack, and then now you have immunity to it. So it doesn't mean that you're not going to get sick. It means that you are going to overcome it. Does that make sense? You're going to overcome it, and you're going to be just fine, and your immune system is going to build memory to it, and it's going to be stronger the next time it comes into contact with it again. So our job is to build immune system sufficiency and to stop saying, take this, boost your immune system 900%, because I guarantee it, and I've seen this clinically, is when people say, I heard vitamin D will boost my immune system, and so maybe if 5,000 IUs is good, maybe I should take 50,000, because then it's going to be really good. I've seen this happen. And then we actually measure their vitamin D, and their levels are at 150 or 160, which is way, 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 way toxic. All right. So when you're talking about immune system sufficiency, making sure you're getting it working up to 100%, yes, there's a lot of things that the body and that the immune system needs in order to build sufficiency. Okay. Now, are there some people who need to worry about this virus? Absolutely. Okay. There's a lot of people right now that are walking around that don't have immune system sufficiency. They're not at 100%. So we call those people the immunocompromised. So who are the biggest people that are going to be immunocompromised? Well, a lot of them are going to be the elderly. But here's the reason why, is because the elderly have usually some kind of underlying medical condition that is causing immune system suppression. Not only that, but a lot of the elderly are on a lot of medications. Just remember this. The only thing that can cause the immune system to go down is going to be due to some kind of toxicity, some kind of overstress or overburdening the body that's causing a stress response. But the other thing is going to be you're not getting the right nutrition or constituents going in. So a lot of the elderly are on medications which can overburden the body and cause the immune system to go back down. Here's another group of people, and I've actually had to talk to some people about this, is people who have had cancer or people who have had chemotherapy. And here's the reason why. And I'm going to talk about, in just a second, I'm going to talk about a really important test that really, if you are talking about moving forward, guys, if you please share this, moving forward from this point forward, because we cannot live in this country doing this every single year. So instead of testing for a virus, we should be testing a person's immune system to see if they have immune system sufficiency. And I'm going to talk about this test. But the other, cancer and chemotherapy, why is that? Well, we know that chemotherapy is going to suppress the immune system. We test cancer patients, people who have undergone chemo, and we see that their immune system is so suppressed. There's a couple of tests that you can actually see with immune system suppression. So chemotherapy. But understand this, is if someone has had cancer, there's two things going on. There is some kind of toxicity that is causing some level of damage to the DNA that can turn a normal cell into a cancer cell. But number two, there's some kind of insufficiency of the immune system that's causing the cancer to build. The job of the immune system is to fight viruses, bacteria, and also to kill cells that actually turn cancerous. Okay? This is basic anatomy. So those people have to be worried, because if they've had cancer in the past or if they've had chemo, their immune system is going to be suppressed. The other thing too that I'm worried about is I'm worried about people who have autoimmunity that are taking immune system immunosuppressant medication. Okay, so there are people like Humira, for example. And this is a lot of people now in the United States. One of the fastest growing illnesses is autoimmunity in the United States. And these people are going and they're getting basically immunosuppressant medication in order to reduce their symptoms. Does that make sense? So we know that their immune system is already suppressed. That's a lot of people in the United States. So, you know, the very thing that even doctors are treating, the symptoms of autoimmunity, can actually be predisposing them of infections, both bacterial, viral, and even cancer later on. All you have to do is go to their websites, like Humira, for example, and it will say that this is a long-term consequence of being predisposed to infection. So we have a lot of people who are walking around who are immunosuppressed. Now, with the immune system, like I said before, the only thing that you can do is you can restore sufficiency. That's it. So how do you get your immune system sufficient? Well, listen, there's a test that you can do in order to determine how well that immune system is actually working. It's called the CD4, CD8 test. This is an immune system panel that we run in our office that basically measures the amount of CD4 helper cells, CD8 T cells that are the ones that are basically killing virally infected cells and cancer cells. Also looking at your natural killer cells as well. And when you have enough of those types of white blood cells, you know that you're going to be able to mount a sufficient immune system reaction to a virus or to a bacteria. So you can get that test and it can measure whether that immune system is sufficient or not. So yes, there are tests. We should be testing these people to actually see who we should quarantine and who we shouldn't, to see if we can isolate those people to make sure that, hey, these are the ones who might have some problems with specific viral infections. All right. So what about boosting the immune system? Okay, can you boost it? No, but we can give it sufficiency. So how you get sufficiency, and there's a lot of different ways. Guys, there's things that won't cost you a dime in order to help that immune system. So number one, that immune system, you cannot be stressed. So as soon as stress levels go up, that will suppress the immune system. So if you're not getting enough sleep, that's going to suppress the immune system. If you are in fact worried about what's going on right now, that will suppress the immune system. If you are angry right now, that will suppress the immune system. Guys, you need to make sure that you are not getting tons of sugar, okay? If you're getting tons of sugar and you're having a massive insulin response, guys, that sugar, that glucose, actually competes with vitamin C. So if you look at glucose and vitamin C, they're very similar. They're very similar in chemical structure, okay? Those two are almost identical. In fact, in animals will make their own vitamin C. In humans, they can't. And so when people say, oh, I'm taking my vitamin C, yet they're dousing their body with sugar, that sugar is competing with the vitamin C. Now, what's interesting is I went to the store to pick up some things, and people right now are stressed. They're eating tons of junk food because the shelves are bare. And so they are just setting themselves up with getting sick from something over the next 3 to 4 weeks. So yeah, you don't have to eat sugar. You don't have to. And in fact, maybe we should all be eating a little bit less, okay, in order to help stimulate our immune system a little bit. But can you actually take things that will give the body immune system sufficiency? Yes, you can. So I didn't ever say that it treats a virus, but you can do some things and give the body the constituents in order to build up that immune system. So one of the first things that you can do is you can take what's known as astragalus. Guys, all you have to do is you can go onto the National Institute of Health, you can Google it, put in astragalus. And what astragalus actually does specifically for the immune system is that it influences the bone marrow to help make healthy stem cells, okay? So where all of your white blood cells are actually first created is within the bone marrow, and when you have enough stem cells, those are the ones that are differentiating and then maturing into macrophages, differentiating into natural killer cells, differentiating into eosinophils, differentiating into T cells, just differentiating into all of these different specialized immune system cells. So astragalus is actually something that will do that. One of the things that you actually notice is if people are like, yeah, I have arthritis, I've been thinking about doing a stem cell injection. So here's the thing. If you don't have a healthy immune system, then getting a stem cell injection into a joint to try to repair a joint, it will not work. Clinically, I've seen people with healthy immune systems, excuse me, who have gotten a stem cell did wonderfully, and then people who had actually a poor immune system, they get a stem cell and nothing happens. So astragalus will help to increase that stem cell production to help with overall white blood cell production. Now the other thing is that then they need to be able to differentiate. So things like medicinal mushrooms can actually influence the thymus, for example, that will help with T cell or stem cell into T cell differentiation, which happens in the thymus. So things like chaga, reishi mushroom, those things can actually help with both the innate and the adaptive immune system. So, excuse me, what about like elderberry, for example? Elderberry will help with the innate immune system response. So it will help with those natural killer cells that are really the first responders to any kind of bacterial or viral infection. They're the ones that get the process started. And so elderberry helps to build up those natural killer cells. Echinacea also does that as well. And it helps that initial immune system response that then will release what are known as cytokines or chemical hormones, immune system hormones, that then go and they start to say, hey, immune system, let's get to work. Let's start building up this adaptive response so that we can mount this all-out attack, start making antibodies and things like that. So there's a lot of different things. And people say, well, I take vitamin D. Just remember, vitamin D is really working a little bit better on the adaptive immune system versus this innate immune system, which is your immediate response. So can you have healthy vitamin D levels and still get sick? Absolutely. So guys, if you get exposed to the virus, no matter how sufficient your immune system is, you're going to have an immune system. You're going to have these immune system, the symptoms of being sick. So just so you know that. It's just that you're going to get over it and you're not going to have any problems with it. So there's a lot of different things that you can do that can help with giving immune system sufficiency. But all you're doing when you're taking these is you're just giving the body the core constituents in order to make an immune system. Because remember, you have to build your body from something. You can't build your body from good thoughts and from nothing. So if you have a carpenter, you need to give the carpenter the tools in order for him to build what he is building. So when people say, hey, chiropractic adjustments will boost the immune system, well, what they don't necessarily boost the immune system as much as reduce stressors. So when you get adjusted, you actually reduce the stressor, specifically a physical stressor, that will lower that cortisol response so that it will then help with that immune system function. So if you look at some of the research from 1918 with the Spanish influenza, people are getting adjusted and having a way better response. And the reason why is that it was taking people out of this fight or flight into a rest and digest. And that rest and digest is helping you to have a healthy immune system response, a sufficient immune system response. So guys, there's a lot of things that you can do to give the body the constituents in order to have immune system sufficiency. If you are giving me an amen, give me a thumbs up right now. So now what about viral load? Are there things that you can do in order to decrease your viral load? Yes. Colloidal silver is actually something that you can do to lower your bacterial and your viral load. Guys, again, this is research, National Institute of Health. You can go ahead and look at how colloidal silver will disrupt the membrane of antibiotic-resistant bacteria, okay? So if you think that you have a higher viral or higher bacterial load, then yeah, taking some colloidal silver is something that you can do in order to help with that load. So do I recommend you take it every single day? Nope. But I recommend if you are having contact with that or you start to be expressing some symptoms, absolutely, in order to help lower that viral load, okay? So guys, it's time that we start talking about building up the immune system versus trying to avoid bugs and viruses. Because I'm going to tell you something, is because once we get past this, if we do not change the narrative then plan on this happening every single year, and our country won't be able to handle it. We need to start changing the narrative of how we start looking at bacteria, viruses, and start saying we need to start focusing on building up not destroying the seeds, but building up our soil to make sure that we have immune systems that are sufficient to be able to handle any kind of virus, bacteria, fungus, whatever it might be. So hey guys, hopefully I spoke to you a little bit of common sense into what's happening right now, okay? So don't live in fear, is that you just need sufficiency. God already gave you the immune system. You just need to take care of it. So guys, please like this. Do me a favor. Please make sure you like this. Please make sure that you share this so that we start restoring sanity back to what is going on right now. All right? I would sincerely appreciate it. Now it's time for me to go home to my family and to have a night of relaxation. So guys, thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Roxanne. Kelly, how you doing? Sunny, thank you for your nice response. Nancy, how you doing? Steve Lombardo, Pastor Steve, how you doing? Judy, I'm doing okay. If you guys know, I was in a car accident a couple of days ago. So I'm doing okay, and I'm currently healing. A little bit of dizziness and a little bit of stiffness, but I'm taking care of it. Reem, Hannah Geim, how are you doing? Patty, thanks for joining us. Stacy, Heidi, thanks for saying that you can hear me. Amber, how are you doing? Devin, how you doing, Doc? So guys, again, make sure that you share this, and let's again restore a little bit of sanity to what's going on. All right, remember, it's not the seed, it's always the soil. And if we never start talking about the soil, then guess what? We're going to be having this conversation all over again in another 9 months. All right, be well. Hope you guys do awesome. All right, stay healthy as well.